Camera pans across the packed congressional hearing. A hush falls over the room. The lights of news cameras blink like tiny stars. The committee chair clears their throat as the exchange about to unfold promises to be unforgettable. Narrator VO in Washington, D.C. Political theater is nothing new, but today, history would be made. A single question, dripping with doubt and arrogance, would ignite a firestorm that no one saw coming. At the center of it all, Representative Jasmine Crockett. Scene 1. The doubt Republican congressman leans forward, sneering, his voice echoing through the mic. Congressman Representative Crockett, with all due respect, many of us wonder if your so-called legal career even qualifies you to sit here and challenge the credibility of people who have been in public service for decades. Did you even practice law long enough to understand the Constitution you claim to defend? Gasps ripple through the room. Some smirks flash across his side of the aisle. Jasmine adjusts her glasses, calm, collected, but her eyes blaze with quiet fire. Scene 2. The silence before the storm. The room goes still. Jasmine leans forward, microphone inches away. Jasmine Crockett, measured tone. Congressman, you've just made the mistake of your career, because what you call doubt, I call an invitation to teach. And since you questioned my legal career, allow me to give you a history lesson you'll never forget. Scene 3. The history lesson begins. She holds up a stack of documents. Her case files, transcripts, court decisions. The sound of the papers hitting the desk rings out like a gavel. Jasmine Crockett. Let's start with basics. I didn't just study law, I lived it. I began my career as a public defender in Texas. That means while others hid behind titles and privilege, I was in the trenches, standing beside poor, forgotten, voiceless clients who couldn't afford fancy lawyers. I fought for men and women wrongfully accused. I stopped children from being swallowed whole by a system designed to break them. Every win, every loss, every tear shed in those courtrooms carved me into the lawyer and the legislator I am today. The congressman shifts in his seat, unprepared for her fire. Scene 4. The trap springs. Jasmine Crockett, leaning closer. You doubt my career. Let me walk you through history, not yours, not mine, but America's. Do you know who argued before the Supreme Court in Gideon v. Wainwright, securing the right to counsel for the poor? A public defender. Do you know who stood at the front lines of Brown v. Board of Education? Thurgood Marshall, a lawyer who started in the trenches, just like me. You sneer at public service lawyering because it doesn't come with corporate bonuses or private jets. But history proves it's the lawyers who defend the least powerful who shape this nation the most. The audience in the gallery erupts in murmurs of approval. Journalists scribble furiously. The congressman gulps. Scene 5. The personal blow. Jasmine pauses, her eyes cutting directly into him. Jasmine Crockett. And let's not forget when I was out there defending the Constitution line by line, case by case. Where were you, Congressman? Oh, that's right. Sitting in corporate boardrooms, cashing checks, and cutting deals. You doubt my legal career. Sir, my career was in the courtroom, not in the country club. Gasps. The congressman fumbles with his notes, his face flushes red. Scene 6. The history lesson climax. Jasmine Crockett, voice rising. You want history? Let's go deeper. When black lawyers were denied entry to white law schools, they built their own, and won the cases that redefined America. When women lawyers were mocked for daring to speak in courtrooms, they persisted, and now we sit in Congress shaping the laws of the land. And when people like you doubted lawyers like me, we didn't back down, we rose higher. So hear me clearly, my career doesn't need your approval. It carries the weight of those who came before me, who fought for justice when justice was denied. That, Congressman, is the history lesson you just forced me to give. The chamber explodes into applause. Some lawmakers on his own side look away. In shame, Jasmine sits back calm once again, while the congressman is left stunned, unable to respond. Scene 7. The aftermath. Reporters chase her down the hallway after the hearing. Reporter, Representative Crockett. What do you say to those who still question your credentials after today? Jasmine Crockett with a smile. I say they should pay attention in history class next time, because I don't argue from ego. I argue from fact, from service, and from the lived experiences of millions of Americans who need someone in their corner. That's not just a legal career, that's a legacy. Closing narration. Narrator VO. And with that, the hearing was no longer about doubt. It was about history. One congressman's attempt to belittle Jasmine Crockett's career ended up reminding the nation of a truth too often forgotten. Real power isn't in titles or years of service. Real power is in standing up again and again for those who cannot stand up for themselves. And on that day, history wasn't just remembered, it was written. Fade out. The The words appear on screen. He doubted her legal career. Jasmine Crockett gave him a history lesson.